Only met a few months ago, but I swear to God, she's my sister. She's got a voice that speaks truth in a way that many do not have the bravery to do so. So, without any further ado, I will let her speak for herself because she's pretty good at it. I'd like to bring Miss Janelle Jackson.
Don't hold back, baby. Okay. Then I don't have to talk too loud. So hi. The sun's still out, and I see y'all. So that's exciting. And I'm gonna talk to y'all, and I'm gonna keep it very, very real. So be prepared. But it will be family friendly. At least I think so. So a couple of different things like have inspired the next. I got 3 pieces to share with y'all, and conversations. I talk to a lot of people a lot of the times about being black and being queer and being a feminist or womanist, however you identify, and like how that for me is political, but like I don't really know a whole lot about the theory. I just live that, and and for that and being happy with who I am, I feel like that makes me revolutionary. So people have been confused about that. So I wrote something to kind of explain what I mean by that. And so I think I'll start off with that, and then I wrote something. I'm from a single parent home, and I know a lot of single parents that this time of year is stressful for them, and they want their kids to feel like they have everything that every other kid has, and whether we agree with that or not, like that's rough for them. And I wanted to pay tribute to them during this time of year, because typically we do that on Mother's Day and Father's Day, and like that's obviously not enough to thank them. And then the last will be something about World AIDS Day. So here we go. I probably talked too much about what I was going to do. Okay. Being a nappy-headed black queer womanist is a full-time job. Hell yeah. See, there are plenty of people who believe they know my story, because there is a narrative that's taught to all of us every day that says that I'll hate my honey-colored skin and wish that it was lighter, that I would despise my wide nose and thick lips and be ashamed of my ghetto booty and West African hips, that I would believe that I'm not important unless I can cook and give birth, that I would only have an opinion if my man had it first, and that I would only be happy if I actually had a man, that I'm not smart enough to create my own life's plan. I would probably be embarrassed that my hair wasn't straight and risk chemical burns or burnt ear skin just to make my hair look European, that I would be willing to sell my soul if I believed I had one, to the highest bidder to get me out of the hood, because if I'm black, then where I came from couldn't have been good. See, it's a privilege to not have your race, sexuality, and gender be pointed out to you constantly at a very young age. So excuse my rage when you tell me that you didn't know I was black, because I've been knowing since way back. See, people treat me as if I'm a character in a book, but I refuse to play that part. So when you speak to me, look me in my eyes, understand that I'm your equal, and I will only be treated as such. My hair is going to be nappy, and my clothes will probably be tight, but you'll keep your hands to yourself, even at night. I don't need you to fight for me, I can fight for myself. I've been doing it for years, and I will not tame myself to calm your fears. I'm black, I'm queer, and I'm womanist, so take it or leave it. But I'll be here either way, fighting against injustice and showing people through just merely living my life that the story you tell is a lie. Me being happy wasn't a part of your plan, so just by smiling, I'm making a political statement that I didn't believe the hype. And every time someone lets me near a mic, I'll unteach your story, refuse to give only your ancestors the glory, tell others to love themselves too, and in all that we do, to know that we are great, and we deserve great things, and we too come from a lineage of kings and queens. And soon everyone will know that together we once had the power and we can take it back, and you'll understand when it's your way of living that seems to always be under attack. Now some call that a revolution. Some say that speaking it aloud is a political statement. I call it survival. like, I never get this much love. Like, we love you.
We love you.
God, I love y'all so much. Y'all have no idea. I can't even talk about how much I love y'all because I might start crying. Which I typically do. So, okay. This is the next one. I called it giving thanks. Something that was intended to be a two-person job ended up being done by one. Throughout the years, somehow it became your job only to pay bills and provide for your seed. So you work hard, give love, and make sure your kids have everything they need. You somehow find time to show up to basketball games, Girl Scout troop meetings, make cupcakes for class birthdays, all while working a full-time job and helping with homework. You are a superhero year-round, but get glorified one day out of the year with cardboard cards or ugly ties. And yet still, you remain the shoulder we lean on, the Kleenex, to stop our cries. You break your neck to be the best Santa Claus, never receiving applause. Not once have I ever even thought to pause to think about what this time of year means for you. See, while we get ready to eat good food and get full and laugh with friends and family and open gifts, spend money that we don't have on things we really don't need or even really want, you are planning and plotting how to make this season as great as those past, because when Christmas is over, rent is still due. And ain't nobody worried about this more than you, so you take another job when you barely sleep as it is, all because of the love for your kids. You don't want them to miss out, so you work extra hours with a smile on your face, never slowing your pace day in and day out, even though maybe you didn't choose this route. You take care of business, and we recognize it. Some Christmases may have had to come on New Year's instead of the end of December, but I always remember. I remember the sacrifices that were made for me so that I knew what it was like to open presents and have new things, even if it wasn't on that day. Even though it should have been impossible, you somehow always made a way. I know we don't thank you enough, but I wanted to take the time to say that you are appreciated. I see your struggle. I respect your hustle. You are an inspiration, stronger than you should have to be, kinder than most deserve, braver than most recognize, and improving way more than just your own children's lives. So with this poem, I pay tribute to the hardworking mothers and fathers who may not even have time to stop in and hear this. You are the epitome of love and dependability, from caring and true, from all of the children from single-parent homes. We love you, and we're grateful for all that you do. I always go over the time I'm supposed to go, so I'm going back.
I'm used to it.
Well, okay, here we go. Alone in a room, just us two. He hasn't eaten in days. Only light we've seen is rays from the sun. In the beginning, his life was always so fun. He was the life of the party. Seemed he was the best friend to everybody. But when he tested positive, only a few friends stayed. This is how we treat our friends when they get diagnosed with HIV or AIDS. But it doesn't have to be this way. Getting tested is important, but it's not prevention. But let me mention that if you don't get tested, then you are part of the problem that we can't solve because we don't know. So how can we grow as a people if everyone is stuck inside buildings with steeples, praying for those infected but not realizing that they've been injected with the poison themselves, unknowingly giving it to others, sentencing them to life or lack thereof? But aside from testing and knowing your results, you should always use a condom and know your partner's status. So that means no loving on the mattress or anywhere else until you wrap that gift up with latex and show me your papers. That's real. I'm just saying. Now, if you feel that the spread of HIV is due to brothers on the down low, get to work making it possible for every person to be who they are out in the open. Yes. Don't just sit back hoping your man is different, but do know that your man doesn't have to be gay or even bi for you to be affected. And forget about the fear of being rejected by him if you ask him to wear a condom, because if he loves you, he will. And if he doesn't deserve you.
Amen. Yeah.
And then sometimes, even with all of the knowledge of protecting ourselves, we can still get the virus. This is a time when we should come together and support and love those in our community hard. But instead, we tend to pull the I'm too busy card, the I'll get with you later card, and then later becomes months, and months become years. Then come the tears because he was such a good person or she was my best friend. Why did her life have to end? Why do we have to love our people when they're gone? Let's love them when they're here and make sure they're taken care of. That they know that being infected is not the end of the world, and if it is in some cases, that we'll do all we can to be there during all of the stages. Even when pretty turns ugly, and when stable turns to needy, and when active turns to sleepy. We will be there, singing our favorite songs, playing in your hair just like old times, because infected or not, my love for you is strong. And not showing you that at all times is wrong. So I'm loving you when I say wrap it up and make him wrap it up too. When I say fight homophobia, that's me telling me I love you. When I tell you to get tested, it's a testament of my love. And when I'm sitting next to you in the room with only sun rays lighting the space, and you no longer have a smile on your face, and too much light sometimes hurts your eyes, and you can barely even see me, I want you to know that that means that I'll always love you from now until eternity.